everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura, and I am getting my master's in English literature, and I actually just did a big book shopping spree to get ready for the summer. In the fall is actually the last semester of my graduate program, and so my summer is a little more free reading since I am just finalizing my thesis. And so I have a book haul that I want to go through with you guys. So these are the books that I'm determined to get through in the summer. I don't know how many books I will actually get through, but this is what I have so far. So the first book that I have, which I'm hoping is actually going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be an easy read because it's actually kind of small, but I guess we'll see, is the Book of Enoch the Prophet. I don't know if a lot of people know this, especially if you're not Christian or are familiar with the Bible, but there are several books that have been left out in what we know as our modern Bible. And I grew up Catholic, but I would say that I practice more spirituality. My faith is very Christian based, but it's not, I don't subscribe to any religion. Anyways, and the Book of Enoch is actually one of the books that talks about a lot of the magic that happened throughout that time. This book is actually banned by Christian authorities and cites what is called Enochian magic. So basically, it talks about the magic of the Bible in that sense, of what Jesus might have used or considered magic. I myself don't know a lot about it, but when I was in the self-help and spiritual section of Barnes & Noble, I was just looking through the tarot cards that they have, and all of a sudden, in all the years that I've been in that section, I found this book, and I truly believe that I found it for a reason. So I'm excited to read this one. This is one that I'm actually going to take my time in. I probably won't sit down and read it. I'll most likely section by section, chapter by chapter, however it's split up. But I am actually very excited to read this one. This next book I got is The Poppy War, and I got it in paperback, even though I really wanted the hardback, but because I prefer paperback books over hardcover books because I can't stand book sleeves. They very much frustrate me. The hardcovers themselves were just beautifully decorated with all the information that we needed, and then we never created book sleeves at all. I can't stand them. So I got the Poppy War, and this has been around booktube and booktok for a while, and I've heard some people talk about how traumatizing that it could be with all the war scenes and everything. But this is a book that I've been wanting to read for a really long time, so I'm actually really excited that I finally have it in my hands. These next two books are actually kind of a impulse buy because I've never heard of them. I read the author in one of my contemporary literature classes that I took for my grad school, and I fell in love with the way the author wrote, and so when I saw that they had 2 more books, I just reached for them. And that is All Over Creation and The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki. Like I said, they were kind of an impulse buy because I honestly didn't know that they existed until I was walking around the bookstore. But I loved The Tale for a Time Being. I love the way that she used magical realism in that novel, and the way that she used magical realism is actually what kind of inspired my thesis that I'm working on at the moment. So I can't wait to read more of her work, honestly. I don't really like a lot of the authors that I read in school. So this is one of the few authors that I'm excited to read further into their career. All Over Creation is about Yumi Fuller, who hasn't left her hometown of Idaho, and she ran away at the age of 15. 25 years later, the prodigal daughter returns to confront her dying parents, her best friend, and her conflicted past, and finds herself caught up in a brand new drama. The post-millennial potato farming community has been invaded by agribusiness forces at war with a pose of activities, the seeds of resistance. With a quirky cast of characters and a wickedly humorous appreciation for foibles of corporate life, globalization, political resistance, youth culture, and aging baby boomers, All Over Creation tells a celebratory tale of the beauty of seeds and growing things and the capacity for renewal that resides within us all. I just felt really drawn to the whole renewal aspect of a character. I also love the fact that the main character is 25 years old. I'm 28, but when I was 25, I definitely went through this sense of trying to figure out who I am and resurgence and renewal, and that's what I'm kind of hoping this book is about. Again, I love Ruzeki's work, so I don't think I'm going to be disappointed. And this is an anticipated read for me at the moment. The Book of Form and Emptiness is actually the one that I saw first and read about. And so my mind automatically went to, I need to read this book. 1 year after the death of his beloved musician father, 13-year-old Benny O begins to hear voices. The voices belong to the things in his house, a sneaker, a broken Christmas ornament, and while Benny doesn't understand what these things are saying, he can sense their emotional tone. When his mother develops a hoarding problem, the voices grow more clamorous. So that's what I mean about magical realism. So I can't wait to go deeper into what this book is really about and see how the magical realism aspect develops into it. I'm so excited for this book. These next two books are actually a cover purchase. I am definitely one of those 100% guilty. I will buy a book by its cover. The first book is The Last Heir to Blackwood Library, and like I said, I just love the way the cover looks. But when I read the back, I actually was interested, so hopefully the story is just as good as how the cover looks for me. So this book is about a 23-year-old Ivy Radcliffe who becomes Lady Hayworth, owner of a sprawling estate on the Warwickshire moors. Ivy has never heard of Blackwood Abbey or of the ancient bloodline from which she's descended. With nothing to keep her in London since losing her brother in the Great War, she wearily makes her way to her new home. And so this book is basically just about secrets and whispers and a very mysterious library, which, sounds like the perfect setting. And it just sounds like a fun read, I feel like this is going to be a good time as well. And this next book is actually 2 parts of a series. I didn't get the second one, which is actually the first cover that drew me to the series. But then I realized that it was the second book and I was already 5 books into my haul, so I was like, I need to just get one, and that is The Night and Its Moon. I mean, look at that. I think the cover is just amazing. It's simple and beautiful and says a lot at the same time for me, that even if I don't ever read it, I'm going to display it because I just think it's beautiful. And this is a book about Knox and Artemis and how they're separated from the orphanage that grew up in. Knox and Artemis never forgot one thing: they will stop at nothing to reunite. The threat of war looms overhead, and two are inevitably swept into conflict between human, fae, magic, and mundane. With strange new alliances, untested powers, and a bond that neither time nor distance could possibly break, the fate of the realms lies in the hands of 2 orphans, and the love they hold for each other. I obviously can't wait for me to read this book. Honestly, what caught me is the back where it says, "Wait for me." I'm such a sucker for romance, and you know, I'm kind of new to the whole romance book genre as well, so I just can't wait for this book. So I'm actually gonna contradict myself a little for these last two books. I know I said I hated hardcover books, but I couldn't help myself. The first book is actually a half reread because I heard the first half of this novel through Audible. Then I realized that I don't like audiobooks. This book was too important to be an audiobook, and I needed my own copy right away. And then I just never got around to it. My ADHD decided that it wanted new books before it went back to one that it technically already read. But then I saw this beautiful edition. Yes, the book is The Song of Achilles. I saw this beautiful edition in Barnes & Noble's, and I was like, my brain just lit up with all the dopamine that it needed to acquire this book. I mean, look at that. Look at the edges and then the back. See, if all books were like this, I would own way more hardcover books than anything. Just, it doesn't need a sleeve jacket. It's beautiful on its own. It has the title. It has a beautiful image. Like, if it needed to, it could have all the reviews and shit. Like, that's a whole different story. Anyways, so yes, I decided to purchase this edition of The Song of Achilles. It's beautiful, and I can't wait to reread / finish the story. Trust me, I've been around long enough to know how it ends, how sad it is, how much it's made people cry. I'm no spoilers here. I know exactly what's going on. So I'm excited to finally actually finish this novel. And my last novel in this haul is Wayward by Amelia Hart. I love this cover. It is so beautiful. So this novel is about 3 different generations of witches, and I'm actually very excited. I don't want to read much into the summary because I just want to like form my own thoughts about this novel, but I really can't wait to get into this. I'm so excited. I hope you guys really enjoyed this book haul. It may not be big for a lot of people, but I've never really bought in 8 books all at once. So this is a lot for me. This isn't my full TBR list though, so if you want to know my entire TBR list for the summer, go check out my next vlog. You know, I'll have it linked somewhere so you could get to it if you're that curious to know what an English major in grad school is reading over the summer. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for checking it out, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. I should be the last to know we're all in this. I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know.